everybody, and welcome to this module. This is the part of the course where I'm going to cover Google Analytics and how to set this up on the back end, connect your website, and all of that fun stuff. So Google Analytics, like we've already talked about briefly, it shows you and it measures for you the things that people do while they are on your website. So the reasons that looking at your analytics is helpful is because it's going to show you, if you thought that everybody would be hitting up your about page, let's say, and in fact, you've only had 2 people visit it in the last month, then that might, change how you perceive your website and how people, hit your website. Besides showing you, where people are going to your website and what they're reading, it shows you, how many pages people are actually visiting when they hop on your website, how long they're staying on your website, if they're being intrigued or not, if you're piquing their interest, how many pages they're visiting, what order they're going in. And that is super helpful because that is going to help you plan out how to direct people within your website. So you might be thinking to yourself, how can I actually show people where I want them to go? Well, that's actually what we're going to cover in this module. And so, if you want them to end up contacting you and that's your, catch-all, your click to action, like what you want them to do, then that would be, part of our client behavior flow. Let's dive in here and show you how to take a look at analytics and what the data is actually telling you. So if you hop onto Google Analytics, just do a search for them, and then you should see analytics.google.com. You could enter that URL if you'd rather. And we're going to sign in. And so just like with Webmaster Tools, you need to have a Google account, a Gmail account, in order to link all of this information. So if you have not already watched the Webmaster Tools video, I suggest watching that before you dive into analytics, because it's going to show you how you need to be connecting everything on the back end. So here is what your home screen is going to look like once you've logged into analytics. We are taking a peek here at my data for LDC & Company, my wedding planning business. Now let me preface all of this data and this information by saying I quite literally have not checked my website, this website, or blogged or done anything with it in probably close to 6 months. I am, as you may have gathered, transitioning out of planning completely, so obviously I'm not putting my effort and energy into maintaining my website or building it and whatnot. So just with that being said, this again is going to be what your home screen looks like. Once you have logged in, you probably, if you have not already entered your account and connected your website, so you're going to log in, it's going to ask you for your password, and as you can see, I'm using my personal email. This is not, a business Gmail account. Once you've logged in, you're going to want to click on this gear down here, okay? Click on admin, and then you're going to go to account. It should look something like this, even if you don't have your account listed, and go to create new account. So once you click that button, it's going to ask you to fill in your information. So account name, new account name. You would just, list whatever you want your account to be named. Once you have set it up, it's going to show you this. It's going to show you this information, okay? So your tracking ID, you should have printed out a PDF that has the place where you can list, keywords and your tracking ID and whatnot. You will want to list your tracking ID here. This is unique to you. No one else will ever have this tracking ID, and it's helpful and handy to have in a quickly accessible, easy to access place. So this is your tracking ID. The other piece is you are going to want to copy this code right here, and this is the code that you are going to be entering on the into your header of every web page on your website. I will show you how to do that if you have Squarespace, if you have WordPress, but you're going to want to copy this and stick it into just a note document, and we'll access that later. So just keep that handy for yourself, and then we're going to head back on over to what is this showing you? What is this telling you? What is this information actually, why should you care, and what is it actually saying in layman's terms? Well, here you can see your audience. How many people have come to your website in the last 7 days? I personally like to select 90 days. I like to see more of an overview. I want to see data trends for 3 months. So all I did was audience overview. I selected audience overview after selecting 90 days, and that brought me to this page. So what is this showing you? Well, let me explain. On my LDC and company, I have had 555 different people go to my website URL. Sessions is the number of times people have gone onto the website. So the reason why this number can be larger than the number of users is because, let's say, user number 550 went on there 20 times. They had 20 different sessions. Well, they don't count as another user. They just are adding on another session. So I've had some repeat traffic. Page views, people have viewed over 1,500 of my pages within my website. On average, they are looking at 2.48 pages per session. So what that means is that people on average are looking at about 2.5 pages anytime they go to my website. They're sticking around for 2 minutes and 6 seconds. So that means that I have piqued their interest in some area of my website. So your bounce rate just means what percent have stayed on the site. So if I have a bounce rate here, let's just say for even numbers, it's 59. So let's say I have a bounce rate of 59%. That means that 41% of visitors stayed on my site and looked around. Okay? So the holy grail number that you should strive to achieve in your SEO journey is 30%. A bounce rate of about 30% means that 70% of your people are staying on your site. So 30%, to kind of break it down, just means that those aren't your ideal clients. Those basically are not your ideal clients. So the holy grail is about 30%. So that just means that for the most part, 1/3 essentially of the people that visit your website, which statistics show are going to be your non-ideal clients, are leaving. So that means that 70% or 2/3 are sticking on your website. Those are the people that are your ideal clients anyway. I hope that made sense. So also, the percent of new sessions, this just means that I have a lot of new traffic hitting my website. So 86%, let's round it up. So that means that I have about 14% of return visitors. So my users, 14% of them on average come back. Okay, so that's not that great, but also that means that they could be actually going in and contacting me. They only need to see it once and they contact me, which in my case seems to be true. So you also get this fun little, bar graph here. And in addition to telling you the percentage, returning visitors, it's saying I had 124 sessions that were return visitors. New visitors were 495 sessions. So this is talking about, my visitors. So it just helps to kind of give you an overview. It shows what this essentially shows. If you just hover over the information, so like users, users who have initiated at least one session during the date range. It's going to give you a definition of everything I just basically said, but I'm trying to break it down into layman's terms. So also it's showing you, what country people are coming from. 495 are coming from United States. Canada, I have 24. City, you can see where most of your traffic is coming from. For me, it's Boston by 37 sessions. So not, much more than Keene. Keene is my immediate city. Boston is, my main traffic that I hope to get. It's my main set of keywords. But like for me, for instance, Keene is going to be a long tail set of keywords, and we go into that more in the next set of modules. But this is also showing I'm pulling a lot of traffic from New York, and whatnot. So it's just helping to show you like, oh, maybe I should add New York to my, list of keywords for myself, because I'm actually pulling a lot of traffic from there. So why not try to start ranking for those searches? You can see, from what kind of browser they come from, how many are coming from mobile, iOS, so they're coming from iPhones or, Apple products, 162. Screen resolution, this helps because this also will tell you, what you should be optimizing your different pages for. So especially for mobile, okay? But this is just kind of a general overview. Let's see. So we covered all of this information. We covered it by day. Let's see, I had on one day, so September 19th, I had 24 sessions. I had 24, not people necessarily, because I could have had, a handful of people that came back onto my website a handful of times, but I just had 24 sessions. On October 23rd, I had 20, so you can see it's helpful to see where you had this spike in traffic, because let's say you posted something on Facebook that had a direct link to your website. Let's see what the kind of response was. Real time though, let's start to dive into this a little bit more. So real time quite literally just means how many people are currently in real time, in real life on your site. And right now I have 0. But this information, it's just, it's just showing you the same exact kind of information we just talked about, but just in real time. So there's that. Audience, we just covered overview. Here we're going to look at active users. So this is showing, again, I set it for 90 days up here. This is showing you on the number of unique users who had at least one session. So, on, again, Tuesday, September 19th, I had 23 active users. This is just showing you that information. How many users had at least one session within a 7-day? It's just showing you the information that, you want to know more about, because you want to know, how many of those people came back. Lifetime value, it's showing you who spent money on your site. So if you're selling something on your website, where people can purchase it via your website, it's going to show you how much revenue you make on average per person. But for the sake, again, of this course, I don't go into that. My wedding planning business, I don't sell anything digitally on there. There's no purchases that can be made, so you're not going to see that kind of data. But this is also, we're going to take a look at this in acquisition in another location, but this is the same data, so why not take a look at it? So I'm able to see out of 2,277 users, 845 of them came from social media. 593 knew of my website, saw it on a business card, was referred from a friend and had the website. That's direct traffic. Organic search is SEO. Okay, so organic search is showing you how many people are finding you via hopping on Google and typing in Boston Wedding Planner, or a set of keywords that you show up for. So I have about 25%. That's pretty good. So referral traffic, this just means you are linked elsewhere on someone else's website, and you they showed up on they clicked a link within that website that then led them to here. Email, I must have sent an email out to somebody, or they went back and referenced an old email and it had my website on there, and then they clicked that. Okay, so this is showing you the same information. So I just clicked on User Explorer, and this is interesting because you can click on a person's, specific client ID, and it tells you information about that specific person. So it's helpful because instead of looking at a whole group of people and trying to analyze a whole bunch of data, you can see what one person is doing. Okay, so for instance, this user, whoever this person is, hopped onto my website, last on November 27th. They began looking at my site on March 18th. So what this information is telling you, so over the course of the length that they have been accessing my website, so it would be from March 18th to 2016 until today, they have had 212 sessions. Within the time frame that I selected, 90 days, they have had 15. This is showing you how long over the lifetime of their visits, how long they've spent on my site. Well, according to this information, this says that they have spent 34 hours, 9 minutes, and 56 seconds on my website. All right. The other data here is, for the 90 days. So they have spent 42 minutes on my site. So this could very well just be because, they had my website open on a tab, on their desktop, and they had that entire window of tabs open and they just haven't closed it, or something like that. And then it shows you, what, different, where they're going, what they're doing, what are they interested in. Reviews, apparently, contact, couples, about, I can see what they're looking at. They looked at 5 pages here. So it just is helpful to see, because then you can tell what a specific one person is doing. But demographics, let's do a quick overview of that. Okay, so this is for 90 days. Okay, so we're looking at 619 sessions. Okay, 100%, 619. So out of 619 sessions, which, mind you, I just want to point out, we saw that number here in audience overview. Okay, so within the 90 days, 619 sessions have happened. Going back to demographics overview, out of those 619 sessions, 308 of those, so 87% of those 619 were female. 45 sessions were male, 12.7%. So what this is showing you is your ideal client. So for some reason, I had initially thought that my ideal client was male between the ages of 55 and 64. This information is showing me otherwise, because it's showing me that 87% were female between the ages of 25 and 34. Okay, so this, if you didn't already know what your ideal client was, or you thought you knew, this is going to show you exactly what your ideal client is. And again, this is just breaking it down more so that you can see by age 25 to 34, 192 sessions. Let's see here, 18 to 24 years old, that was number 2 in the most number of sessions. That was 56. So again, it's just showing you the data, so that way you have more at your fingertips. It doesn't hurt to know, what you're playing with, what you're working with. Okay, so this is gender. Interests overview. This is helpful if you struggle with coming up with blog topics, let's say, or, you know, what you should be posting about. What do people actually like? What do they read about? You know, so this is helpful again, because if in my market, a lot of people, so, well, not a lot, but 5.56% are looking at gifts and occasions / wedding planning. People are also interested in travel, home decor, party supplies, let's see, affinity category, reach, shopping. So out of them all though, this right here, special occasions and weddings, 8.32%, you know, that is the number of users that have either hit up websites with, you know, these interests listed or whatnot. But this helps you because it kind of shows you what your ideal target, what your ideal client enjoys doing. Okay. So again, it's just some more information to have in your back pocket. And then this breaks it down more, you know, data spread out across. Okay, I'm not going to go too much more into this. This is showing us the language again, which we already saw on our dashboard. But 556 speak English, where they're coming from, behavior. Next section. This is showing you how many people are new visitors hitting up your website and how many are returning and hitting up your website. So if you have a lot of returning traffic, let's say, if you have a lot of people that, you know, just come a lot, then what that is saying is you have piqued their interest in something that they need to come back and take a look at again. Now, this could mean one of two things. It could mean that they just haven't decided that they want to who they want to hire yet, and they need to come back and look at your stuff again. Or this could mean that you, if you are a planner, for instance, or if you are a content copywriter, for instance, if you have a lot of freebies that you give away or a lot of information that you give away, this could mean that the DIYers are coming back onto your site because they don't want to hire you, they don't want to spend the money, but you have given them too much information so that they know they can do it themselves. Now, regardless of whether or not that type of user, that type of visitor is your ideal client, doesn't matter here. What that is saying, though, is that you have probably given them too much information because they think they can then do it themselves. You don't want that. Doesn't matter what industry you're in. You need to set the stage and set the tone and show them why they need you. Not, oh, this person has so much good information. Oh my God, I need to go back onto that website because she tells me how to do X, Y, and Z. All right, what was that website again? Type. That's not what you want. So the fact that you have a lot of new traffic coming in is good. And this just breaks it down more, how many times they, come. So people have, if they have 2 sessions, I've had 50 visitors, 50 users that have had 2 sessions. I've had 16 people come on 3 times, 11 for 4, yada, yada. Okay, so this is, this is just breaking it down even more. Engagement, how long did they stay on your website? Well, they stayed on for 0 to 10 seconds. I had 389 sessions. So this is interesting because what this is showing me is that 389 sessions happened, not users. How many times person A, went on there could be 7, and then person B went on there 1. But it's showing me that 415 pages were viewed during those 389 sessions, and so on and so forth. Okay. If you click on page depth here, it just goes more into it instead of you know, just more abbreviated. I stick with the abbreviated. It shows you what types of browsers or, you know, software they're using to come on and take a look at things, you know, what network they're part of, mobile. It's always helpful to know. Okay, so 411 sessions happen on desktop, 194 on mobile, and 14 on tablet. So what this tells me is that the majority of people are viewing my website on a desktop computer. But mobile is still a key factor in how people view my website. So I need to make sure that it's mobile friendly, right? Devices, iPhone. Okay, benchmarking is interesting because what it's showing you is you can select the industry that you want to monitor. So you could do arts and entertainment, all arts and entertainment. So this is the specific channel I'm taking a look at. And then what it's doing is it's showing you how many people found me organically. The reason why I have all negatives here is because it's showing me that the benchmark for this, like on average, channels, the art and entertainment channel receives 960 sessions on average, but I only received 300 something. I'm going back to hobbies and leisure so I can show you because I feel like that's more pertinent to the wedding industry. But actually, you know what? Let's do real estate. They have specified that they view real estate channels. So, you know, I shouldn't have a whole lot of, you know, positive numbers here because on average, 1,060 sessions will come from organic search for people that have specified they like the real estate, you know, type websites and whatnot. So it's just interesting to compare. Acquisition overview. This is showing you how many people came from organic search. So let's see, bridesmaid proposal, one person searched for that in Google and one person clicked on me. I mean, obviously more people than just one search for that. I'm saying one person clicked on that set of keywords when they search for that on my website. I like to just look at the overview, direct, where are they coming from? So majority of people are landing directly on my website. Channels, okay, it's just showing you social, where are they coming from the most? For me, it's Facebook. Next up though is Pinterest. So don't think that Pinterest isn't a heavy hitter for you in helping to drive traffic to your website. Blogger, I don't even know why that is because I have nothing on Blogger. So that must be from somebody that, you know, referral traffic from a link somewhere. Actually, I do know what that's from. I had a bride who had built a website on Blogger for her friends and her family, and then when I did her post, she linked to it, and so it's driving traffic to my website. Well, I mean, only one person within the last 90 days, but hey, whatever. Source, this is showing you what your biggest sources of traffic are. For me, it's Google/organic. Directly on mobile, Facebook, which is, you know, technically to them a referral. Pinterest, Facebook on a regular desktop, Dubsado, okay? Dropbox. Like this is showing you where people are coming from. So you may find some, you know, some sources of traffic that you're like, what? I didn't even know that. I had no idea that, you know, they had me listed. Allison's Orchard, that's a local wedding venue. So 2 people have, you know, visited my site within the last 90 days because they have listed me somewhere. AdWords, I'm not getting into because I am not a fan of AdWords, if you can't already tell, but I am going to show you. I do not have any active campaigns with them, meaning I do not spend any money on AdWords, so you're not going to see any information. But if you do decide that you want to, you know, spend money on AdWords, then you will end up having data here. I do not. Okay, so Search Console is showing you what pages of yours showed up when somebody did a search for something on Google. So if they do a search for, you know, I don't know, Texas wedding florist, and I showed up 427 times, well, my homepage showed up, okay? For a while here, I think it's still active. For a while, I was writing a mommy blog, and so they did some sort of search for something that showed this in their search result. What I like to show people is what, they were actually searching for. Okay, so a wedding planner, I showed up one time, but nobody clicked on me. For whatever other search sets of keywords people searched for, I don't know what those are, but I can almost guarantee you it's probably like New Hampshire wedding planner, whatever. I showed up 325 times. So 325 times. So my impression is the number of times I appeared in search results and somebody saw it. Okay? But 21 of these 325 times, somebody decided to click on that URL, okay? The number of clicks you get from a Google search. So the click-through rate, meaning how many times I showed up within search results for a set of keywords versus how many times people actually clicked on those links, that link that they searched for, is 4.49%. So that means I am getting a click-through rate of 4.49%, which also translates into me showing up on, I am in 9th position. So that means I'm on page 1, second up from the bottom. This is explaining it to you, if my URL appears at position 3 and then position 7, my average position would be this. So it's just showing you where, on average, I'm showing up. Social overview. This is going to give you more data on, where people are coming from, what networks, all of that stuff. I'm not going to get too much into this. I mean, you could click view full report for yourself. I probably would recommend it. And that's going to show you, again, this information we've already looked at, network referrals, landing pages. What pages are people most likely to click on, or have they been clicking on within social media that lead to your website? For me, it's my homepage. Let's see, 2017 wedding trends, how many people, within the last 90 days clicked on it. Users flow, and this is showing you the same exact thing from what social media channels, what are they then going to? Okay, and see, it's different. So pricing, after normally the biggest one was day of details. From pricing, they're going to my blog. Okay, behavior, we have already covered that, but this gives you a nice overview. So my biggest hitter when it comes to what page is, for me, my homepage, pricing, blog archives. This is showing you all of the key data that you want to pay attention to. Site content. Again, we've already seen this in the overview, but this is showing you, how many pages, average page time spent, whatnot. Landing pages, which ones, are people landing on first. Again, my homepage. Exit pages. This is showing you where people tend to fall off. So 151 people will then exit from my homepage, just my main page. 42 people leave once, 42 people left once they saw my pricing. So, it's just showing you where areas that you could be working on. I just clicked on site speed. It's going to show you how fast your site is doing. Page timings, it's going to show you exactly where you could be optimizing your images. All right? I need to probably fix some of the images that are on my about page. Same for client center and contact, okay? Speed suggestions. I mean, I just told you that, but here, they're probably going to say my about, client center, and contact. Let's see. They need to fix their site speed. And it's going to give you suggestions So pricing, like we said, about, so I could click on these. So when you do, what it does is it completes a page speed analysis for each individual page of yours. So it's going to say optimize images, show images to fix. I should fix this one, whatever that is. This one. So you know where you could be optimizing, because don't forget, site speed helps boost your SEO. Site search, I can see what people are doing searches for on my website. No one has searched for anything. That makes it easy, okay? Events, don't worry about that. Publisher, don't worry about that. Conversions, this is only if you've set up goals. So what this is showing for you is what people are doing on your website, the areas that you could be fixing for yourself on your website, how you can make your site faster, where they're spending time, where they're falling off, etc. And it's just, again, gives you a better insight as to where you should be focusing your efforts, instead of thinking, A, I have no idea what I should be friggin' doing, or B, I got it, I got it, I'm good. No, you may not be. So that wraps up Google Analytics. And I hope that made sense. As always, if you have questions, feel free to reach out, and I'll see you in the next module.